All right, gentlemen. So what we've got tonight for you is we're going to go over the top row of the toolbox for the M3. Some of these will, obviously convert over to the Max Flex as well. We do have a second toolbox training that'll be coming up covering the bottom row. We just felt it was very important to break it down into two different segments because there is a lot of information in both of them. So that's why we did it that way. So y'all can get the most out of it. And again, we've got a small crowd. These are always, just your districts. So if there's any questions, throughout, please stop me. Let's, have the conversation, get you the information, the correct info. And if I need to do some research, I can. But we'll get started. So service, trust, and results with our mission statement. Matco is committed to enabling every franchisee to realize the dream of successful business ownership. And I believe it's Matco's, vision and yours as well as distributors, because service, trust, and results exactly how, we both plan to accomplish that because that's the way you build to the results. So there is proprietary information just coming through here in case we end up with any pricing, anything like that may be on the screens. We obviously don't want to get it into the hands of the competition. We will also send these out so you have the PowerPoint presentation. So if you do need to print anything for your quick reference, you can definitely do so. So the agenda is why the toolbox, why they chose the toolbox instead of a menu button. And then of course the top row, max fix, tech to tech, saved reports, and feedback. Just kind of show you a little bit about it. And really the toolbox is, as you know, there's a lot of information that's built in here. And we've really started thinking about these different applications as kind of your drawers of your toolbox, because every time you open a drawer, there's not one thing in there. There's multiple things that are in that drawer that's going to be able to help you accomplish your repair or your function on the car that you're trying to do. So that's really why we went with the toolbox logo, and just to let you know there are tools there to be used versus just a simple menu button to make it a little bit easier. So it is in the top left corner of your M3, top left of your lights, your 2Os, 2As, your flexes. We don't move it around. So we're going to focus on just the top four tonight. You can see I've kind of got a gray bar over the bottom. That one's got a lot of good information in it as well that we'll go over on the next meeting. So going into Max Fix, this is really something simple. This is just how you can get into Max Fix straight on the tablet. It's a blank slate to where you can select year, make, model, and engine size and research vehicle information. So whether you had to, prematurely unplug from the vehicle before you were able to get this point because someone else in the shop needed the tool, or for whatever reason, you just need to go back and revisit some information or do some research on the vehicle, this is how you can get in there and pick the vehicle without having to be connected to it. So this is also kind of where it drops you if you were to go to Diagnostics.com and log in and click your Max Fix subscription there. It will drop you here to a blank slate to where you can do your research there as well. So just a quick way to get in and out of Max Fix. Now the tech to tech, we really, this has been around for quite a while. It's back on the 2Os, the 2As, the Max Go. And what it is really just a way for you to create a digital address book, or Rolodex, if you will, for us older generations that are used to seeing those things. But it's real simple. The red arrow's pointing right there to the serial number. So, if you've got a buddy across town, you've got somebody you met on a Ford user forum that has, a launch product, you can just, type in the serial number, hit search, and it'll go ahead and find that customer. It's actually a lot easier with the serial number now, because it used to be you'd go by a username, and that made it real difficult because you'd have people that had really close usernames, or maybe it was a different letter, a different number, and you didn't know all of it or something. So it was real difficult sometimes to find that person. The serial number makes it a lot easier now. So you can actually continue just a list there. I obviously only have one, which is my other 2.0 demo that's there on this list that I took a screenshot of, but this is a way that they're going to be able to do this. And I really think of, like I'm trying to think of a good example, like who's the collision repair? Abra Collision. That's got multiple locations, and maybe they have like a real high level diagnostician at one of their main shops, and he needs to be able to help diagnose vehicles at other shops. Instead of loading him up and sending him down the road to the next place with their diagnostic equipment, they could purchase a Max Flex right now, or be able to remote into each other back and forth, so he could stay at his place and still be able to help technicians at other locations. Is really a place I really think this would be used. Down at the bottom, you've got the ability to, once you select, like I'm on remote Atlanta Diagnostics, I can then send a request to control the device right away. I can invite him to come in and control my tablet. And then the white bar down here that you can see with the smiley face at the end is a text thread, right? So you can actually text back and forth between the tablets as well as a communication device without having to have each other's cell phone numbers or something like that, or maybe you don't have his number and you need to reach out to him. It will alert him with a number and a red dot up by the toolbox, just like ours does with the updates, except when he clicks on the toolbox, it'll have the red circle around tech to tech. Which is really cool to be able to have that feature as well. So the saved reports, right? So this is kind of where I tell all of our end user customers that this is where, everything you save, whether it be data capture, whether it be a data sample, health reports, things like that, everything comes in here to the saved reports. And this is just some examples and screenshots of where this stuff gets saved to, without having to go into the actual Android side of the system, into My Files or ES File Explorer or something like that. This is a lot easier for them to get to and be able to either share them again or print them again. Okay. So this is obviously the health reports. So if he was wanting to select one or two, to be able to either reprint or send out, he could simply come through and check a box and share it. Or if he wanted to reprint it, he would simply click on the wording and be able to pull up the health report in order to reprint or email it if he needed to get it to the insurance company. So it makes it real simple to do that. The remote reports, this is one that I had sent over just as an example. So these are any type of reports, like a health report or something like that, that's done during a tech-to-tech session. So if someone's controlling my tablet and they run a health report on the car I'm hooked to, not only does the person remote it in get a copy of it, I also receive a copy of that health report as well. So I don't have to depend on him to send it to me or him forget or anything like that. It's automatic for both tablets to receive that report. Which really makes it nice. So this is kind of the example of the remote diagnostics report. So that way you can see the different codes. There's obviously more here, but doing a screen capture, I couldn't get it all because you can see at the very top under inspection results, you can see 17 issues, and I've got 12 on there. So there'd be 5 more, down below that would be the other codes there. So it is something informative for them to have. Recorded data is something that I would do if I'm hooked up to the car and I take it on a test drive, or if I'm sitting in the bay and I'm recording something on the tablet through the data, whether it's engine data, transmission, body control module, instrument cluster, any data that I am looking at that I hit the record button on, it saves here. So that way they have a running list. And again, if they needed to share this for other people to view, another tablet, if you're talking about Abra Collision and they needed to share some stuff back and forth, they could do that real easily through this. And that's one of the cool things that sets us apart, is being able to share this type of information. Data samples, we've gone over this. I think we really went in depth at Expo on the presentation in 201 about being able to record known good vehicles that your shop has repaired and test drove and all that good stuff. And before you call the customer back to come pick up the vehicle, we tell you, we encourage them to grab a data sample. Go in there, hit data sample or data capture, let it run for a few minutes, save the file, and that'll be known good information they could recall at a later time if they had a vehicle come in of the same make and model and engine to help them get to diagnosis faster. These are where all these saved reports go. And the cool thing with this is as you network, right? I mean, distributors, whether they're Matco guys, Snap-on, Cornwell, you've talked to those guys around, just like technicians. They've either moved to different shops, they know people at other shops. They talk constantly about what they're going through, what they're working on. And right here, they can actually start a library of their data samples and be able to share them with other customers. So they can actually just click the box and hit share, and they can type in the serial number. So they don't even have to be tech to tech buddies. They don't have to have anything. All they have to do is have that serial number, and they can share their known good data with that customer on another tablet. So it's really cool that we can get that information back and forth to really start building everybody's library of known good data samples for those engines. So shared data samples, this is just a list of ones that have been shared with me. It does not keep track of ones I have sent out, okay? So these are ones that Jim Capate, which is our DSR up in the Northeast, these are 2 that he shared with me that I now have access to on my tablet. So this is incoming data sample shared, not outgoing, just to be clear with that. So just so you can kind of see it. We do have the Roxy reports as well, just to touch with you about it a little bit. Roxy is something that Launch came up with their reporting system. We do not really get into using it as much or really at all in our segment because we normally are printing reports, emailing reports, things like that. We just haven't really dove into the Roxy reports. There's not enough activity on our end to really do it. But it is available out there. It is available for you to sell. And we'll have more information on that at a later seminar. So. And feedback, the last one we're going to talk about tonight, which I think personally is probably one of the most important ones that we have, because this is something that really sets us apart from all the competition. Snap-on, Altel, Bosch, OTC, they don't have this technology. It's not hard for them to get it. They could do it, but they haven't. And we've had it for quite a while. And what it is it's really a way for our tablets, our scan tools, to maintain the 20 most recent vehicles that they've hooked to. So I want you to understand, every time they hook to a vehicle, number 20 falls off. They hook to another one, 20 falls off. They hook to another one, 20 falls off, right? It's 20, that's all it is. So it goes by quickly. If they hook to the same car 3 times, 3 cars at the bottom have fallen off the list. So it's really important to talk to them about the importance of feedback and what it is, and to capture that and send that information as soon as possible and not to wait. Because this is a way that our technicians, our end customers, can capture problems with vehicles that they're dealing with on a daily basis that we either, we have a bug in our software that's not functioning properly, we don't have access to it, it's something new and they need data in a different format other than voltage or grams per second or something like that. They need to see it in a different way. It's a function that used to work but doesn't work now on the new software. It's a way for our technicians to communicate directly to our engineers and be able to build the tool with the software and information and really perfect the software that we have in the tool. Nobody's doing this. It's a way for them to build it to be involved with it. And when it's explained that, you know, hey, if you've got an issue or you got an idea about something we need to be doing or something that would really help us out, please use the feedback, you know, because we're always looking to get a leg up on the competition. If there's something that we can accomplish, you know, through our engineers and get out in the field and running tests and reverse engineering and figuring it out, by all means, you know, let us have that information so we can fix it. Because if they're wanting it, the chance of some guy needing, you know, a certain test or functionality or data parameter here in Georgia on a, let's call it a 2016 Chevrolet pickup truck, you know, it's pretty good that a guy over in Nevada with a 2016 Chevy pickup truck is probably going to need the same thing, right? And the fact that everybody gets the updates we come out with that is in current subscription, you know, really just speaks volumes to how we do this. So with this, it's 20 most recent vehicles. You're going to look like this when you open it up, depending on how many, you know, how many different vehicles you've hooked up to. You know, you're going to be able to pick one. I think on this one we picked the GM file. So once you select your GM, it's going to come to this page, and you're going to choose your file up top, the big blue button. It's going to pop up. It's going to give you the vehicles for you to select. Once you do, you're going to simply come down here and input the information, what the problem is, what, you know, you're looking for a solution for, what you think would be a great idea for us, whatever it is, and then they can submit that information. Okay. The history one, I don't have a picture of it because my history is blank. I haven't hooked a vehicle in quite a while to submit a feedback with COVID, but the history kind of looks very similar to what you're seeing here on the screen, except it is color coded, right? And I know you've seen it to where, you know, blue is pending. It's waiting for our engineers to be, you know, to read it, to understand and start working on it. It goes orange or a deep orange color when it's in process, that someone's actually working on it and doing something with it. And then it's green when it's done. And there's feedback that gets passed back and forth between the engineer and the customer. So they can click on the log at any time and get the information that the engineers are passing out or that they have going for it to really, you know, help make sure they're getting the right information or the right test or the right data to get better understanding and make sure it's accurate for what that customer wants. So they do pass information back and forth through there. The offline list, which is the last thing we talk about tonight, is really just if they're out and about doing roadside, or maybe they have it at the house and they just haven't connected to the internet, or they're out in a parking lot, whatever it is, they can still submit the feedback right then, right there without internet connection. And as soon as the tablet recognizes internet, in the background, it automatically uploads that feedback to the server. So they don't have to remember to go in and do it. It does it automatically next time internet is connected to the tablet. So it makes it real nice, real simple, and easy way for them to continue doing feedback without interrupting the flow of diagnosing vehicles.